All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I see you've been waiting on me. That's right. It's 7 o'clock. We start on time here at the Purpose Party. I am your host, Bridget B., better known as Bridget Bentley, and I'm excited that you guys are watching tonight. I know you heard through the grapevine we were going to have a good time, and I am not going to let you down. Listen, singles, come on in. Come on in the room now. Come on in the room. I know you guys have been excited about this, and you're like, Bridget is talking about the what? Singles. Yes, she is talking about singleness tonight. So I'm excited about everybody that is here. I got some friends, some beautiful friends, okay, not just some friends that are here tonight that are going to be helping me. We're going to be talking about some things. And as I mentioned on my video, we're going to be talking about some things tonight. So, hey, come on now. I want to get you guys the time, the opportunity to go and get you some snacks. That's right. Get you some snacks. You know, you got that pandemic weight anyway. It's not coming off this weekend. So go get you some snacks. All right. Okay. For those of you who are walking, go get that kale. Okay. And the vegetarians, I appreciate you as well. But listen, share. Tell your friends, let's do this thing. Okay, we're gonna come together as we would on a Friday night, and being single, we're gonna just do it virtually because that is how we do things in a pandemic. Amen. All right, give me some hearts if you're out there. If you can hear me, I need you guys to give me some hearts. These beautiful ladies are right now, I'm giving them permission to be on their phones because they are sharing it on their page. They are telling people on their page. Share it. Just hit the share button. You go, Bridget, how do I share this? Because there's people that don't know you. Why don't they know me? But listen, if they don't know me yet and they've been under a rock, share. Okay, give them something special. See all of this beauty, all these different squares of beautifulness. Share it. All right, share it. We have a great show for you tonight. And listen, I can't even explain how excited I am about what's going to happen tonight during this show called The Single Solution Project. 3 days, 3 glorious days. Tonight, we're going to kick it off with the ladies panel. We're going to be talking about some ladies are going to be hearing some questions from the guys. That's right. The guys have been asking us some questions, and we told them we will be real, realer than real. Okay. Sometimes don't ask us if you don't want to know. So they gave us some questions, so we're going to answer them on tonight. And then tomorrow, 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time now. So some of you guys are in New York, some of you guys are in Africa. Africa is going to be tomorrow after the tomorrow, all right? But 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, the guys are going to come in, and we gave them some questions too, because you know what? We got some questions. We thought we had the answers, and then we met a guy and we didn't have the right answer. So we're going to get things cleared up tonight. I mean on tomorrow. So that's Saturday, August 15th is the men's panel. So I need all you guys, come on in here now. You're like, look, Bridge, I don't usually do this, but you know what? Since it's gonna be guys and everything, I guess I can watch it, see what they saying about the brothers. Come on in, you. I need you. That one talking like that and shrugging your shoulders. I need you. And then on Sunday, we're going to all come together and we're going to be talking about some things. We got a great pastor who's been doing singles ministry for probably 30, 35 years. He had one of the biggest singles ministries ever, about 1,500 strong, okay? And so he has said he's going to definitely come on tonight, and on Sunday, and he's going to be talking and kind of winding some things up, and we're going to be talking to each other as men and women singles, and we need some more questions. So what I need you to do is, because you're going, when did they ask questions, Bridget? I didn't get to ask no questions. Listen, I'm going to be giving my email out for the Purpose Party talk show, which this is, our email address. And what I need you to do is send me some more questions. So here's the email. Get your pen. If not, I'm going to be saying it multiple times. It's thepurposepartytv@gmail.com. Send your questions there. Also, we're going to be having some more forums like this. We ain't gonna always be, live to the masses, but we're gonna be talking about some other things that we definitely kind of had to pull off Facebook a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna have some group forums, and we're gonna be talking a lot. So if you want to participate in that, I need you to email me again at thepurposepartytv gmail.com. Send them now. Go ahead. Send them now. We're good. So listen, I know you're saying, but Bridgette, get to these beautiful women. Okay, okay, you're yelling. What's that all about? All right. So let me just start off with these fabulous women that you see before you. They are my friends, first of all, and they are powerful women of God, and they just happen to be single. And so I'm going to introduce them to you. We're going to take it, kind of left to right for me. And we're going to start off with Miss Regina Courtney. Come on, give her a hand now, Regina Courtney. Yes. Woo, woo, woo. Yes, and then next to her, we have the beautiful Tiffany Brooks. Come on now. Woo! Come on, we got to cheer for each other, honey. And then after that, we've got the fabulous Jennifer Valery. Yes. Woo! And then we have our phenomenal Sonya Griffin. Yeah, y'all know Sonya Griffin. Yes, you do. Woo! Yes, yes. And then last but not least at all, okay, Sandra Alvarado. All right, so how can we have so much beauty in one room? We had to squeeze real tight, okay? Our pretty is spilling over right now. So listen, as I mentioned, we are definitely talking to some great women, and we got some questions on tonight that our wonderful cooperative men have presented to us. So can we do this? If you are a guy out there, because I told them to watch so that they can get their answers. And so we'd like to celebrate them. So we'd like to, come on, I need you ladies to give a hand to all the men that submitted some questions today, okay? So come on, we want to just give you a hand. Thank you so much. Come on, girls. Woo! Give them the whistle. Hand calls. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much for participating. And we are so glad. And so they are as well. We got some great guys coming on tomorrow, honey. And they listen, ladies. Now look at, lean in. The men tomorrow. Yeah, be here. Okay. Get your good wigs on, okay? Because tomorrow we're gonna be talking to the guys. Get the bag of hair, shake it off, and come on and watch it tomorrow. And as we talk to the guys. So listen, so let's get to it. We're gonna start off. Hopefully, you guys you got your seatbelts on. I'm gonna propose some of these questions to our ladies, and they are going to be extremely honest about it. I believe that some of these questions are questions that you need to ask anyway when you're talking to some of your ladies, brothers. Maybe you need to ask these questions. Sometimes you haven't had a good rehearsal in a while. And so you just kind of go, wow, maybe I did it wrong the last time. Maybe I didn't ask the right questions. Well, there's some great questions here. And the same thing for you ladies tomorrow. I think we got some good questions for the guys that'll kind of clear some things up and maybe keep you out of some trouble. So, all right. So let me do this. I'm going to put on my eye crutches, what I call them. So they're called my glasses. Listen, I too, let me just say this. I'm not going to just be the host today because I am a female. I will be, answering some of the questions too. I even wore my lady shirt. You see my face of my lady on here. So girl power tonight. So I'm going to ask some of the questions answer some of the questions too. So just know now tomorrow I'm going to be the host and the moderator. So the guys can feel comfortable talking. But today I'm just a girl. All right, so let's just talk about, let me get these questions. Here's my eye crutches. Thank you so much. All right, ladies. So what the guys want to know is, the first question is, what are the top 3 qualities that you're looking for in a spouse? Somebody answer.
So for me, my top 3 qualities that I look for in a spouse is, first and foremost, a godly man. That has to be the foundation regardless. Second of all, I like a balance between having fun and being serious and knowing when to use which one. Like, I don't want someone that's serious all the time or someone that's just goofing around all the time, just a balance for them both. And someone that loves family, the good, the bad, the ugly. Yeah, those are my top 3 qualities for sure.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Mine. Yeah. For me, top 3 would be, of course, love God, a servant, the ability to lead, and the ability to provide. Those are my top 3. And then everything that the other speaker said.
Okay. Everything they're about to say, that.
Yeah. And everything that they're gonna say.
Anybody else want to give their 3?
And for me, I would say, obviously, first and foremost, kingdom led, intelligent, and the same thing that Sonya said, the ability to lead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I agree totally with Sonya. And to add just some comedic, when I say can laugh.
Yeah.
Not so serious.
Yeah.
I have to agree with everyone. Comedy is definitely important. They have to be have a good personality, but godly character is number 1. Godly character and walking in that, not just talking it, but walking it. And then family oriented for sure. They have to be good with my son because that's a priority. And honesty and integrity.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, and so let me just say mine, and I kind of put this in a way, just say it, Bridgette. Okay, all right. So anyway, I want a man that doesn't want to break God's heart. And so if he doesn't want to break God's heart, that means a whole lot. Sense of humor is awesome, but if he doesn't have that covered, I've got it. But then integrity is an awesome thing. So, I just can't be lied to. Just hurts my feelings.
Amen.
So ladies, listen, if you're watching this too, you get to participate as well. So in the comments, I need you to put your 3 things, no particular order now. So we didn't just pull you in here for you to just be voyeurs and watch us do this.
Right.
Questions as well, we want to propose to you. These are men asking this question. So sometimes you've never been asked that question, so you don't even know your own, so you're out there just kind of figuring it out on the job training. We don't want that. So what I need you to do is put in the comments your 3. What are your 3 things, top 3? Okay, put it in there, and we'll look at it as well, because I have a feeling that we're all on the same page.
Yeah, I have someone that even said like-minded. They want somebody like-minded, and so that puts us sometime on the same, what they say, equally yoked. Doesn't always mean scripturally based, or it doesn't always mean that we're at the same level spiritually, but do we have the same mind? Are we headed in the same direction? So I like that, like-minded.
Yeah. Well, that kind of brings me to the next question. What they want to know is, how are you, will you consider a guy that is less educated, doesn't make as much money as you? Let's just put it at that. They're less educated. They don't make as much money as you. How are we feeling about that? Let's talk about it.
For me, the money issue is not a huge thing. I think as long as it's not a money issue because they don't have drive or they're not going after goals, then that could be an issue. But if it's just a dollar amount, I don't see that as a barrier or a hindrance. As far as education, if it's just that they haven't had the amount of education is one thing. Intelligence, that was one of my top 3. So I think that there's a difference between your education and your, how intellectual you are. So that could potentially for me be a barrier, because I like to have those deep conversations and those intelligent and intellectual conversations. That's what drives me and fills me in a relationship. So that could be a deal breaker for me.
Anybody else? Gotta have a scholar.
For me, as long as they are kingdom mind, they have a kingdom mindset and have the ability to lead, the money is not an issue. And that would include intelligence. If you have a kingdom mindset, you are intelligent.
Right. Right.
Yeah, for me, I would have to look at your reasons behind not having money or not having finances. You know, why is it that you're broke? If you're unemployed, I get it. But what is your drive behind that? You know, are you looking or, you know, but we have to remember, because I know a lot of times we get in trouble as women trying to make sure that a man can provide or that he have his own money. And we get in trouble behind requesting that, but we have to think about, we're not dating just to date. We're dating to build something. And can you build something with nothing? And so that's something you have to look at. As far as education, it's not a big deal. I mean, if you know how to add, subtract, put a sentence together, I think I'm good.
Okay, you got. All right, now look here. If you can add and even subtract, she got you. So add and subtract, that's good. A lot of folks is like, well, I'm in there now. I'm in there now.
Right.
Well, I think for me, I think book smart sometimes doesn't mean common sense smart. So I have to, I've seen scholars and have had that opportunity. And there were some times when, there was so much book smartness that the common sense element was missing a little bit. And so I don't think necessarily that it means that much. I think that definitely when it comes to making the same money, I think that, right now, I think we all have to adjust a little bit because we're in the midst of a pandemic. And so we have some justifiable reasons for the money being funny. And so I think that, understanding the reasons, like with Sonya, understanding why and them having a reason why, as opposed to, I just like watching television. You know what I'm saying? I just like my cartoons. That's a problem for me. But if it's something where the attempt is there and the opportunity is not, then I get that, because I too, could be in something where it was out of my control.
Right.
And so, and then my thing is that if I have a challenge with it before, then when life happens, great jobs at the beginning doesn't mean great jobs in the middle or the end. Mm-hmm. So you just have to go, what kind of character am I getting with? Is he a want to worker or you work, I'm gooder? I'm making up words tonight, so we just gonna go with it. You know what I'm saying? So
work ethic is
he's got a work ethic. I don't, and here's the thing, let me ask you this: does it matter what he does? I'll just add to that question. Does it matter what he does aside from being a street pharmaceuticus?
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, he can't be working at a cannabis shop.
You know what I'm saying? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what he does. Ladies out in cyberland, doesn't matter what he does. Is it something you can introduce and go, my husband is a toenail clipper? I don't know.
Toenail clipper.
So it wouldn't matter what he did, like what Sonya was saying, if it was something illegal or, inappropriate, but as long as he didn't have an issue with what he does. A lot of times when men aren't doing the thing that they want to do, it can make them unhappy, and then that sometimes can spill into other aspects of their life. So as long as he's happy with it and it's not something that goes against kingdom standards, I wouldn't have an issue with what the job title was, or where he clocked in or out.
Yeah. I agree. If he's passionate about it, then I'll be passionate about announcing what it is that he does.
Yeah.
As long as he likes it.
Yeah. Now that's something that now I'll just make a kind of cap this, unless anybody else had something to say. You definitely chime in. Anybody else want to say anything on that? Okay, so what I want to say about that is we're laughing, I'm laughing, that kind of thing. But I will say this, that when someone enjoys what they do and they have a happiness about it and they do it well, they're a expert at their craft, and they're doing it because they love it, that passion because they love it. There's something that, we both will feel better, because going to a quote unquote corporate job and hating every minute, is, it would, his detest of it would eventually spill on me, because every day he would be angry and mad and pissed off. Yeah, he have a fat check, but he would be angry at home, or mad about it and frustrated. And so we have to know sometimes that if you let people do what they love, then there's so much more bonus to it. There's more of a bonus to it, to have them internally happy about them doing what they love, no matter what it is.
And there's something really attractive about a man who's doing something that he likes to do, that has that passion, like, whether it's whatever, I'm excited with you, you know what I mean?
Right,
like,
right, exactly.
Right. To help out, because I see your passion in it. It's attractive for sure.
Yeah. And I think that sometimes that lets the guys off the hook. That's the reason why I'm kind of staying on it, because, maybe there's a guy sitting out and he's watching this and he's like, you know what? I've been, trying to, climb this corporate ladder in this particular field because I was told, to do it. This is the only job that matters, and, 6 figures, and that's what girls want, women want, and all of that. And we may be freeing them up a little bit, to maybe going, listen, I'm going and I'm going to be a professional bowler because that's what I love. So, it's a lot of money in bowling. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
Bridgette,
Yes.
someone asked, posed the question, what if he's retired?
You ever seen a retirement check? No, I'm kidding. But
Yeah, and it's all right with me.
No. But I would say, if he's retired, then what he's at most of the time when you're finished doing what you had to do, whatever you used to do, if you loved it or you hate it, you're done now. And so now it's time to enjoy what you really want to do. I think it's more opportunity for them to do what they love, and if they've retired from something that they love, they can always teach it, which keeps their hand in it as well, So I say, ask him what he's retired from. And if he's still talking your ear off for a couple of hours, you go, you love that. You're passionate about that. Why don't you teach it, or open up a school for it or something like that? You encourage him. And now he's back into doing something that he loves, So that's what I say.
On that same vein. So what about if they're on SSI? I have an answer for that, because I once had met a guy who was on SSI, but I didn't ask why. But it showed why later on in the communication why he was on SSI. And so to me, I mean, you really have to dig into why. What is it? Why are you on SSI? Yeah. And
and see, the thing is that you need to know if this is a a season or a siesta. Some people are in a season that's temporal. It's temporary. So it's like you met him at this point, but he's just going over a hurdle. So it is about communication and finding things out. You could meet somebody who's the top of their field in the corporate America, and you met them right before they were about to quit. But you met them with, with the suit and all of that. And next thing you know, they come over your house and they're like, oh, I don't do that no more. You go, why? So you just have to communicate. Communication is the key.
Right.
Okay, so next question, ladies. Aside from God and family, what are you passionate about? And what attracts you to a man? And what is the big turnoff? I know that's a lot of questions, but they'll blend into each other. And if you lose your way, I will get you back on point. Other than God and family, what are you passionate about?
For me, right now, the passion project that I'm working on is a book that I'm writing that's going to be helping families heal, you know, and parenting. So that's one thing I'm passionate about. But then also, I have a really, really strong passion for apologetics and being able to explain, you know, God's word and being able to break it down so that people can understand it and show people like the historical context of the Bible and things like that. So that's something that I'm always, you know, dabbling in and really, really passionate about.
Okay. And then what attracts you to a guy, and what's the big what makes you do that?
So the biggest the unattractive thing, so superficially, it would be like bad teeth and bad oral hygiene. Like, you got to go to the dentist. I don't know how many times I got to say it. You have to go get your every 6-month cleaning, please.
Okay.
So that's one thing, I guess, in the superficial vein. As far as something a little bit deeper would be people that are men, that bring their old hurts and traumas and assumptions into how they handle and how they deal with me. I feel like that's one of the biggest relationship killers, especially in the beginning, of assuming why you didn't get a text back, or why, you know, those kind of things that we all, especially at the age that we're at, we've had, you know, previous relationships and previous experience. So my biggest turnoff is when someone tries to apply those things to, you know, their relationship or their interactions with me.
Anybody else? What are you passionate about? I'll kick in. I'm passionate about this show, The Purpose Party. I'm really passionate about helping people fulfill their purpose. I'm really passionate about letting people know that your purpose is fun. It's what keeps you alive. That if God gave it to you, then He is responsible for maintaining it. And so that's what this show is about. Is we talk about different things. I bring things to the forefront to hopefully allow you guys to see yourself and say, wow, if they can do it, I can do it. And to just kind of help you take away your excuses in a, fun kind of way, and use everything I got, all of my different talents kind of on one platform. So I'm real passionate about that. I'm really passionate about, making sure, that people, if I have to hold their hand, then so be it, let's go. And just, allowing God to use my pluses and minuses as a tool to, help people do what they need to do. So I'm real passionate about that. What attracts me to a man? Kindness. I'm talking about genuine kindness, where I see his heart before I see his hand. And because that kindness is attached to his character. So there's a lot of external stuff that I could say, but I go blind if you're not a kind person. I don't care. And what's a big turnoff is a guy that will. What I don't like is when someone treats me like I'm not valuable. I'll cut you on that one. Sorry. If you just, that's it. We'll just say that. Anything else, and it'll be a 2-hour show. But for me, if you say, well, how do you do that? Well, it'll come out. It'll be something where it's like, I don't need necessarily a lot of attention, but I am saying that, you're not kind. I believe because somebody's breathing, you're there in your presence, then acknowledge them. Because when they leave your presence, there's no guarantee they'll ever be back in your presence. So I just like that.
And that's true. That's true. I guess for me, my passion is, of course, my music and my children. I'm passionate too, as well, about seeing people succeed. I like to see people make it. what attracts me is, I think Bridgette said it well, their heart. Yeah, you know, physically we can be attracted to anybody, and you can also be turned off by who they are. And so for me, the attraction comes from being fun. You know, I like comedy. If you're funny, that yeah, we can hang out. We can hang out a few times. I like that. And then my biggest turn off is men who complain all the time. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
That's true.
Leave us something to do.
Yeah.
That
They're
is
like,
a big
something's
turn off
wrong
for me.
again.
Yeah, that's a huge turn off for me is men who complain. Not to say that they don't have complaints, but still just learn how to voice your complaints. Just don't, you know, that shouldn't be our whole conversation.
Yeah.
Not every day.
Yeah, you'd be like, you're breathing. Let's rejoice in that.
Right,
Yeah.
right, start there.
How about that? How let's stay happy about that today until you're not breathing, and then we'll be mad.
Right.
For me, everybody has hit it on the nose about being kind, having a kind heart. True character does come out at some time. And I love that. I also love, you know, like I said earlier, someone who's fun, makes you laugh. My pet peeve, or one thing that I don't like, is once you share with the person, you have that conversation where you're getting to know each other, and maybe as the woman you mentioned maybe a couple of your weaknesses or something, and they turn that around against you. That's that's something I really can't stand. When we as women, we take what you tell us, even if it's bad, and we process it, and we don't make it a big deal unless it's like really bad, like stealing, or, you know, like you guys had mentioned earlier, you know, selling drugs and stuff, something like that. So those are the things that bother me. And my passion, I know I did it backwards. My passion is my singing, doing hair, and then I also minister to women who are going through some of the things that I've been through as a single mom. And so I found so much joy in that, and I've been able to help a lot of women and see them succeed, see them get through some of that hard spots as being a single mom. It's not easy being a single mom, and then, you know, having really small children and then them aging into teenager and, you know, graduating from high school, and you're still a single mom. That's not very easy. So that's one of my passions.
Yeah. Or to see them date before you do. That's what my daughter, she asked me, Mom, when can I date? I said, after I start.
Wow. Okay, let me do just a quick commercial for you guys. Again, we want to hear your questions. Put in the comments and stuff, you know, what's your turnoffs and all of that. But also, I need you to email me at thepurposepartytv@gmail.com if you have some wonderful questions you'd like to put in there for me. And as well, if you'd like to participate in some of our other forums that are about to happen as a single person. So please email me. Okay, that's my commercial. Next question. All right, you guys. So here is the question. If a man really wants to work on the friendship, why do women think he's playing games? While you think, those of you who just heard the question, I'll repeat it again, that are out in virtual land. So a guy says, you know, I just really want to work on the friendship. And then the question is, why? He's not making a pass at you, I guess, whatever. Why do we immediately think he's playing games?
So if you don't mind me answering, I'm actually one of the people that prefer to establish a friendship first. And I'm the one that's like, why do you guys want a relationship right away? Like, let's get to know each other first, you know, background. I don't know. I don't see it as playing games unless you can, I mean, you can tell right away if they are, if they're not, but I prefer a friendship, to be honest with you, right off the bat. I have a difficult time jumping into a relationship and then finding out all of these flaws, or not flaws, but red flags. So I'd rather see them as a friend, and then they would be a lot more genuine as to who they are, opposed to trying to woo you and not showing you who their true character is.
Yeah, I think that question in itself, I think that anybody who runs into that enough to ask the question should probably ask whoever is saying it, what is it specifically that they think is the game? Because I think that that person probably feels like there's some kind of mixed signals. So where the man probably thinks, well, I'm just doing this, I would do this for you even as a friend, maybe that woman is taking whatever the action, whatever the words are, the time spent, whatever it is, as something that she would only engage in or exchange in a romantic setting, right? So because yeah, like I prefer being a friend first and getting to know who you are. So I couldn't see where that would automatically, someone's mental would shift to you're playing games unless you're playing games. Like, let's just, say what it is. There's something else there.
Well, too, let me, and I was, as I read the question, as because they had to send them to me, I was thinking too, and I don't know, but I'm just going to assume he gets, just talking to guys sometimes, because we are, sometimes the nice guy just being nice guy, because I was trying to go, what could be a game, seeming like a game? Well, I think, let's say the guy is really somebody who is helpful, he is attentive, he is making sure you get home okay, he is just a gentleman, and then, because we've been at such a deficit of having that, it could give us a sense of, now let me add this element, he ain't bad looking either. I didn't talk about the guy with the tooth missing and he got a really deep slur when he talks. I'm not talking about that dude. Okay. Anyway. Now he breathes like this. No. No, not him. But a very good strapping young man. And he's just very kind. And mama raised him correctly. And so the things that we don't get on a regular basis, I guess, then he does that. And then you see him helping some other woman and doing the thing. And so now he is the one who is the game player, as opposed to this is just who he is.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to explain that, because I kind of think that what they're saying is that we get, we're at a deficit sometimes. And so because people don't know when first of all, friendship is rare. People are not working on the friendship. We can just say that. I know that's what you prefer, Sandra. That's great. And should start there, because that's why when relationships are over, there's nowhere to go. You can't be their friend because you never were. You know what I'm saying? When they came around, it was like, so what do you see in a man? What do you like in a man? What do you like in a woman? It's like, why do you care? You're my brother. Who cares? That's not my question. Shouldn't be our question.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I just think that sometimes how you come across as a friend is the issue. And it's not so much that you're trying to be a friend, but I think somebody said it earlier, what kind of messages are you giving off trying to be a friend? And you can't talk sex to me and you're talking about trying to be my friend.
Right.
That's not what friends do. And so, so then my mind goes to, okay, what kind of game are you trying to play? And so I think it's just really how they come across, because sometimes we can tell their intentions from conversations. And then sometimes you have to hang in there a while, to try to figure it out. So I just think that it's how they're trying to go about being this friend in the conversation. Because my thing is, do you even know what a friend is? Do you even know how to befriend someone of a different of the opposite sex? Do you know how to do that? And so I just need to make sure that you understand what you're saying when you're saying that I'm trying to be your friend. Why you tripping? Because I haven't heard anything friendly yet. So.
But no, I agree. Because, and here's the deal with it. I think sometimes we're not necessarily, I'm not putting all the pressure on us as women because, men are responsible for what they say, but we as well are responsible for what we say. So this is what I'm gonna put the responsibility on us females, on we females, whatever the proper English way to say it is that if that conversation of inappropriateness happens, we can't go giggling. You know what I'm saying? Right. You can't sit back and now something has been said that is not your brother's conversation. And you going, you so crazy. Or you finished the sentence.
Right.
There's something and now you say something else. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, we both talking crazy, So yeah. I'm just saying that sometimes we're kind of hitting on something that we gotta, as male and female, in the friendship category, it's like what is totally off limits in the friendship, because it's so weird to just be friends sometimes. What is totally off limits? I know sex, we know that conversation is off limits, even in a dating relationship, because if you're not gonna get married, sex till you're married, it shouldn't be there either. But what I'm saying is at what can totally not be said in friendship that makes it now we're either on another level or we need to pull back or we need to acknowledge that that's not what we're going to talk about.
Right.
Where's the line?
Yeah.
Are we watching a movie and then there's an adult scene that kicks in? Are we chuckling about it? Is that inappropriate? I'm just asking.
Yeah.
I'm just asking. It's quiet in this Baptist Methodist church today, Pentecostal to the Catholic side. All right, just asking. Okay, so here's the next question. As a woman of God, do you know your purpose and the kind of man that you need to cover your gift and call?
One more time.
As a woman of God, have you determined, hold on. Do you know your purpose and the kind of man you need to cover your gift and call on your life? That's to the, and while they're thinking, virtually, ladies, I'm asking you, I need some information in the comments. That's the question I'm asking all the people, all the ladies watching, single ladies, all the single ladies that are watching. Do you know your purpose? And do you know what kind of man you need to cover you? Because you do need covering.
Yeah. I think for me, so to answer the first part of the question is yes, I do know my purpose. And I think that's super important before you even start trying to look for a relationship or a man or anything like that. So I do know my purpose. As far as like specifics of what type, I think that it's important for us to, as women, to know, the things that we like, the things that we value, and the things that we will be able to respect in a man. But I think I'm a little reluctant to have a whole spreadsheet of like, he has to do this and he has to do that. Just because I feel like some of it, you have to be able to trust that God knows what you need. And there's a lot of times that we think we want something or we need something, and then, it shows up in a completely different package or, completely different things than what we thought. So, my answer to the question would be like, I know the things that I desire, and, those are the things that I submit to God. But do I know, like, he has very, poignant details? I don't know if I find value in comprising that list.
Yeah, for me, I do know what my purpose is, and I, if let's start with a man that will pray with you, not just for you. I want somebody to pray with me and include my purpose in your prayer. I want to hear this prayer because I need to know what your thoughts are when it comes to you praying for me. What are you actually praying for when it comes to me and my purpose? I do want a godly man to walk beside me because then he understands some of the sacrifices that we have to make. He understands some of the compromises that we have to make, and even to fulfill our purpose. And so I just want somebody who can understand and to pray with me. And hopefully serving himself. Now, he don't have to be deep in it like I am, because somebody mentioned balance before, because we do need a balance. However, if I'm out there and you see me working my purpose, then I need you to pray with me and walk alongside me sometime. So I'll know that I'm not, in this thing alone. If we're supposed to be dating, I don't want to feel like I'm alone.
Well, I was trying to get an example of that. And I was like, God, I guess you don't want a guy who God has called you to Africa and you got a man who was afraid to fly. Yeah.
No, I want him to at least pray before I get on that plane. You gotta pray for me when I get on that plane, and I know that you praying for me while I'm on my, on this assignment, because there are some fears that I have that he may have to go somewhere, and there's some fears that I have about maybe some of the places he'll be sent to. I have two options. I either got to suck it up and go, or the biggest one of all, even if I go, we still got to pray about this, about this journey, this assignment that God has put you on.
Yeah. Well, he can't be a man that like you're called to minister and he just thinks women shouldn't minister.
Yeah.
Either.
Then you have an issue. There goes your unequally yoked issue.
Yeah. And I think knowing your purpose is more important, because the more you know your purpose, you'll be able to recognize somebody else that can't come. You know what I mean? That they're just can't bring you along because you're not in line with it. So
yes.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yes.
Bridgette, yes. Go ahead, you guys. Go.
Yes, I do know my purpose, but I would like someone that's not intimidated by my purpose. And that happens a lot. But would rather, like Sonya and some of the other ladies who said, who will walk beside me, would pray with me. Give me some suggestions if God's put it on your heart. Maybe I'm doing something, maybe I should do something this way because it'll be better, that kind of thing. Walk with me.
Yeah.
I agree with Ty when she said that it's important that we know our purpose prior to even getting into a relationship, because as singles, that's basically our goal, is to find out what God put us on this earth to do. So if you don't know your purpose, then it's not time for you to be in a relationship. And then, yes, I do know my purpose. I know what God has called me to do. And I feel like God has put a person in my life or will put a person in my life that will support me in everything that I do, as far as like supporting, any decisions that I have to make, and being encouraged, like being an encourager for those decisions. And for the parts where I know I'm weak, or where I know that I'm shy or insecure about, then he would be able to, help me in that area as well. He would be my strength and my weakness.
Well, I want a man who's already been praying for me. I don't want him to just start because we're together.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like him to have already been praying for me, and God have already downloaded into him what, who I am, so that when we meet, there is a knowing almost, where it's that confirmation, because I've already had, your life in my mouth, to God, to my Father about you. And so there is that kind of, yeah, that's what I've been praying about. That's it. And I believe that can happen, because, the thing is if we're seeking the same Father, then I think we'll be good. I think we'll be good. Okay, so next question. Do you believe in dating more than one person at a time? Come on, ladies out there in the virtual land.
I'm gonna go get some water right now.
Okay, virtual land, ladies. Oh, my virtual ladies. Do you believe in dating more than one person at a time? Virtual ladies?
I don't. And this is coming from a reformed serial dater. So prior to my BC, before Christ, I was a serial dater. And now, I feel like dating is for the destination of marriage. And so I feel like before you've chosen that one person, that you can see engagement, that you can see marriage, and you can have friendships, and you can, build friends. But to say I'm dating these two people is, I feel like it's a little shady when you're dating the kingdom way, right? Because I feel like that's leading to something. So
Okay, well, let me ask you this. I'm gonna throw this in. This is a little monkey wrench because someone watching, I'm actually looking at my feed too. Somebody's watching and it says, yes, they believe in it. Because let's define what dating is.
That's what I want to
see. Let's do that. Let's get some clarification on what we're defining as dating, because I can have a cornucopia of friends. But now the question, of course, as it was phrased, was, do you believe in dating? So let's just talk about that. Like, you guys, what do you feel dating is?
I think dating, I'm not gonna say I've been confused, because I do my best to make sure that I separate dating from friendships. And so can I have multiple friendships? Of course. Can I date multiple people? Not if you're trying to build something. How are you gonna build something with someone if you're dating multiple people? Dating to me is when you become exclusive and you guys are really trying to go towards one goal. You are working on building something, and you've already talked about, and you're trying to walk out your destiny together. I just think that when you first asked the question, I was like, people have to understand what dating is first before they can answer that question. And so I always even say to people, make sure that each party understands, what are you doing? Are you friendship? Are you are you in a friend zone, or are you dating? Both people need to agree to what you're doing, because a lot of times women will think that they're dating, when men be like, no, that's my friend. Oh, okay.
You'll find that out when they introduce you.
Exactly. And so everybody have their own idea of what dating is, but dating to me is that we're trying to build something together, and we are walking into a destiny, and we're going to do it together, versus me confused about where we're going. I don't think that's dating.
Yeah, because D. Parker, she said, dating for me is I'm trying to get to know you more alone.
Yeah. And I think too, if it'd be uncomfortable if the two people that you are dating, are one area, that you shouldn't be doing it, right? Like, but friends, you wouldn't feel comfortable hanging out with friends at one time. But if you happen to run into someone that you're dating with someone else that you're dating, that's an awkward situation. And I think that there can be, hurt feelings and pain involved. And so I think anytime that is a factor, then you should, stay away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think because singles, that is why we need to come together and have these conversations, because sometimes the lines get a little blurred in what, one person believes as opposed to the other person believes. And sometimes we get, folks are kind of winging it at other people's expense. And so then somebody is hurt, and then you're not feeling responsible at all, because you're like, well, I didn't say nothing, but if you say nothing, you can't assume that people are on the same wavelength as you,
Right.
I believe in sometimes over communicating, where they be like, okay, Bridgette, we get it, but I bet you all hearts and minds will be clear before we get the benediction. So, right. I just think that, you can just communicate it, and don't feel that because you're communicating things that it's going to run people off. Because if somebody with you just trying to explain what's going on, this is my life. Hear what I'm saying? I'm protecting my head. I'm protecting my heart. I don't have that much time to recover from a heartbreak. I'm half of 100 now. So I just really would like to get some clarity. I don't care that they think it's a business meeting. I'm the CEO of Bridgette Bentley Incorporated. So let's have this executive meeting.
Right.
And then we can go about our day.
But Bridget, that is why some of us get so misled, because we don't ask questions. We just go along with whatever and shake our head. As long as we hanging out with somebody, we good, but we don't ask the question. And even when red flags come up, we still don't even address the red flags. And so if somebody is going to run because you ask them, what are we doing? They're going to run in. They were going to run anyway. Exactly. And they should have been the one who brought it up. You shouldn't have to ask.
Yes.
Yeah. But then too, don't, I think sometimes guys say, they just, there's some people, guys, that just don't want to hurt your feelings either, because they don't know how you're going to take it. And and not now doesn't mean never. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
If a female is asking the question and then the guy is just being honest and now she's all but hurt, he loses again. He loses because he was told her the truth.
I think that it's important for, kingdom men, if that's, obviously that's what we're talking about, to be very different than the men in the world. And I feel like that those blurred lines, that's something that we can get from worldly men. I think that a part of an attribute of a kingdom man is that they do articulate exactly what it is and what it isn't. And as leaders, they are like, this is the destination, whether the destination is friendship, whether the destination is dating. You should never, if you're dealing, in my opinion, you're dealing with a kingdom man, you should never have to question what it is and what it isn't. And I think sometimes as women, we have been conditioned, or we have that fear of like, I don't want to say anything. Like, I don't want him to think I'm needy, or I don't want him to think I'm, desperate or whatever. But that's why I think that kingdom men should be bringing that to the forefront of, exactly what it is and articulating his intentions from the jump.
So this is at the dating stage.
Absolutely. I think at every stage there should be clarity of this is what it is,
So he comes in and he says, hi, I just want to be your friend.
Well, when you know that there's romance involved, obviously I don't think necessarily say, defining a friendship, but when you could tell that there's, we're going on dates or, things like that, it should be, for sure. Like, say what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, and also, Bridget, when you made the statement, hi, I just want to be your friend, we can't accept that if that's not what we want. If we want more than friendship, we can't say, oh, okay, and then think it's going to change down the end, because he's already told you what his intentions are. And so if you're not willing to be someone's friend after he has said that, then we can't say, okay, we can be friends hoping that it's going somewhere else. No, he told you, I'm here to be your friend. And so we can't anticipate where they're going. Now, if it happens, it's a surprise and it's a gift and all that other stuff. But if it doesn't, he told you in the beginning, all I want to do is be your friend.
Which should be okay if we just went and started rah-rah in friendship, right?
Right.
If we're believers that in the chronological order of anything is we hit the friendship step, then I guess the response should be, cool, let's be friends. You know what I'm saying? Because friendship is not necessarily a guarantee that there'll be a relationship.
Exactly.
I have heard some women say, look, I don't need no more friends. Like they say it right there with that face too. I had to get it right. I ain't looking for no more friends. Anybody heard that on this panel? Anybody heard that in virtual land? Because I've heard it. Look, honey, I don't need no more friends. I ain't got no more applications out for friendship.
I've said it, but I took it back because I know it was the wrong thing to say. It wasn't the right thing to say. I've said it before, and then be like, "Girl, don't say that," because So.
But I think that is usually when you do want more, you know what I mean, or when you're hoping for more. But I think Sonya, like you said, you might say it being flippant, but maturity will make you say, "All right, I didn't win this one. You won this one."
or you end up in something crazy and go, dang, I should have stayed right there in that friendship zone, man.
Right. We should have stayed in that friendship zone.
I would have dodged that bullet, man. Because as a friend, I didn't give a darn, but now,
right,
I'm all emotionally caught up.
When you step back, you look and you're like, "Ooh, I thought we just friends." Like,
right.
Bridgette,
Okay, so let's, oh, go
Bridgette,
ahead.
I just want to throw in something, and I don't know if any of the ladies here on the panel or out there in Cyberland have experienced this, where even a pastor or someone in authority has said about dating, oh, dating is gathering data, you know, getting information, but the underlying thing is not just one person, not, you know, getting information on just that one. Have you guys heard of that, or have you?
Girl,
heard
every
that.
day it's tattooed
Okay.
on my singles manual. Yeah.
I've heard of the data thing, but not to justify or to say that means that it should be multiple people. But I have heard dating is gathering data.
Yeah.
But I do think that there's stuff that you can learn that are critical, even in the friendship. There's stuff that I've found out about people in the friendship because we were just friends, they were more relaxed with their information because there was nothing to lose.
Right.
And
Right.
so sometimes the critical information is found out in the friendship because there's stuff you know about friends that their wives don't even know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that friendship thing, I think it's kind of like you want people to go, relax and talk to me. You can tell me anything. And then you make up in your head, child, I'm not dealing with that. I'm your girl. I'm not dealing with that. Because the expectations change. There's stuff I can deal with in friendships. You know, some guy friends that I have that like we could be the best of homies. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot about you. But if I had to now put you as a mate, I wouldn't tolerate none of that.
There you go. Yeah.
None of it.
Yeah.
So hitting that friendship base is really for your own protection because once folks relax, they start to talk.
Yeah.
And even you do. You know what I'm saying? There's things that you will say in a minute to your friends, and then you know, if y'all get into some kind of potential relationship, you almost mad they know it. Because it's like, ugh. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next question. Speaking of that, and listen, virtual, I need you guys, you ladies out there, come on, let's talk about that. Let's talk about what do you think about friendship? Put in the comments what is your value on friendship? Okay.
Yeah. Some of the comments on my page, of course, friends first is good in any relationship. Communication is key. So again, that comes from us identifying, you know, what we want, what we don't want. You know, if some basically us being upfront when we meet each other instead of waiting till, you know, I fall for you and now you tell me that you got a wife at home or something, you know, something like that.
That's a problem. That's a problem. That's an inconvenience, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. And then some said, you know, dating is getting to know people to build a relationship as a prospective partner.
Okay. Okay, so here's the next question. Are you confident that you're ready to enter into a marriage? Or do you feel that you still have some areas of your life from your vantage point that still require some refining? You think you're ready right now?
I think for me, well, I think even in marriage, you're being refined, you know, because you're with that person and there are things that are going to come to the forefront that you may not have dealt with before. So I think that even in marriage, there's a refining process. But for me, I feel like God had taken me through this process of letting me know that in this moment that I am worthy of a husband and worthy of being someone's wife, right? And all the things that I was insecure about, or I, you know, was down on myself about, and, you know, he really built me up. And then after that, it was like, okay, but now let's work on these things, you know, that you were insecure about, or that you did have these questions like, is my husband going to accept this, or, you know, whatever. And so I think for me, there are still things that I'm working on, but I think that the foundation is there, you know, and I think that that's why it's so important to talk to God about where you're at. Like, am I ready to be, if that's what your desire is, asking God, am I ready to be a wife? Lord, like, expose the things to me or in me that would cause my marriage to fail or cause me, you know, not to be the helpmate that I'm supposed to be. And I think that when you do that, he'll show you those things. And I think from that point, you'll have a knowledge of, okay, like, these are the things that I have to work on. That's going to be a problem. And these are some things that they don't make you not unworthy of a husband, you know, or a relationship, but they can hinder or provide barriers to your success.
I think too, like what I will say is, you know, like you said, nobody's done. It's not like, it's like stick a fork in me, I'm perfect.
Yeah.
But I think that there's things that God will acknowledge in you that will mess up any relationship. So I think when he's tweaking you for every situation you'll be in. And so if you're a person with a temper, not only would that mess up your marriage, but it'll mess up anything he has for you, any platform he puts you on. If you have a problem with insecurity, then he can't put you in forums where you quote unquote don't feel like you deserve, because then you won't do what you're supposed to do, and you won't be in a marriage, because the first fight that you have, you're going to start blaming yourself and I should have, you know, and I shouldn't have said that. Well, no, he shouldn't have punched you. How about that? So I think when God is refining us, I don't think he's necessarily going for marriage, my child. He's going for life. Because some things that you do in life, you're conditioned, especially at our age, we're going to do it in marriage too. The way you treat the mailman, you're going to treat your husband the same way once he becomes real familiar and forgets to put the mail in the mailbox. So I just, I think we're still a work in progress. Everybody is, because if I was to say, well, I'm perfect, then as soon as I get a husband, he'll show me you're not.
Right.
And then I can't expect that from him either, because.
Yeah, so I personally think that I mean, like most of us, we probably are ready to be wives, but we have to know the husband so that we can be wives to that man.
Right.
It's every man's different, so we have to kind of adjust to them the way they're going to adjust to us.
Right.
That's
true. So true.
Yeah, that is true.
So, okay, virtual people, let's talk to us, ladies. And are you ready for marriage? You know you better than anybody else knows you. Are you ready for marriage? Are you just escaping the single season that you're in? You know, I guess that's the question too. Are you ready for marriage, or are you just done with singleness? Because that is two different questions.
It is.
One
if someone knocked on my door and that I, you know, have feelings for, and they said, "Are you ready to get married?" I would have to say no. Because you talk about the refining part of it, and I don't think it's so much refining of myself. I think I finally got to the point where I am confident in myself. But sometimes we have to make sure that we are entertaining people that are worthy of us. And so, you know, I read something the other day where someone put men are prizes. And I was like, really? Shouldn't we both be a gift to each other? Shouldn't we both be a prize to each other? So if someone actually knocked on my door, you know, are you ready to get married? And you mentioned it, that we're so set in our ways. There is some changing that we'll have to do. I would even ask myself, are you ready to change? Is the question to me, to myself. Are you ready to change? Are you ready to open your space to someone else? Are you ready to, because I do want someone who's a leader. Are you ready to turn that over to someone? And so there's a lot of questions that I have to myself, before I can say, yes, I'm married, that I'm ready to get married. Now, if he comes and say, can we be engaged for 2 years? Yeah, because that'll give me time to pull it together. But at our age, I would say today, no, I'm not ready. Not today.
Yeah. Well, truth be told, there are days when singleness, you know, child. Because it is I call it the selfish season. You know, we know that. Any married person can tell you that in your single season, you know, there's so much you don't have to worry about, period. You know, and we do a lot of solo stuff that, you know, in marriage, it's going to be definitely not the case. And we have to kind of relax. There are married people, you know, if they are honest, will say that there's some days when they're sitting alone in their beautiful homes on a bench somewhere in the back, reminiscing a little bit. Reminiscing doesn't mean they don't love their spouse, doesn't mean they don't love their kids, but it's a day when it's like, today I'm flashing back a little bit. So, you know, but it's funny because it's the same. It's like one side is always not envious of the other, but you know, it's kind of like if you're married, you want to be single, you want to be, you know, single, you want to be married. So it's pluses and minuses in both. Okay, we got not a hard one, but we got one that's a pretty deep. This brother is pretty deep. He said, do women really understand the power of their words to a man? That they have the ability to build up or destroy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, virtuals, my virtual people. Do you realize as a woman the power you hold in your words?
I think that some women do, and I think that either you reach a point of maturity where you do. I could definitely say that there was a time when I didn't. You know, there was a time where I was going to tell you how it is, and it's the truth, and oh well, you know what I mean. And I would used to consider myself like a tough lover, right? Like that's what it is. And so God has really taken me through a process of speaking the truth in love and being more like intentional with like pointing certain things out or letting a person kind of get to the ultimate, like, oh, I was wrong, you know, or, oh, like maybe I should do it this way this time instead of always, you know, being the one to correct or talk at a person or, you know, so I don't think the question is, do women, some do and some don't. You know, that's as a man, you have to understand where they're at maturity wise and if they've allowed God, the Holy Spirit and God to mature them in that way.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I think I think every woman should know the power in her words, because sometimes we, you know, we go, oh, well, you know, I'm ready to be a helpmate. You know, we put that's the statement as well, right after that same pastor with the dating and collect the data. But anyway, so, you know, we're helpmates. And there's times when knowing that you're a helpmate, you have to know that if that man is at a point where he's kind of, you know, trying to balance two things, or he's in between feelings or in between emotions or dealing with something, that your words can tilt him either way. And I know sometimes we can say, well, same thing with him. Well, I'm not doing tit for tat today. You know, this is this man's question, you know. So he's obviously experienced that, where it was like, wow, you know, she had a moment where she could have encouraged me to the hilt, and she made a major decision to crush me like a bug. And then probably after that wondered, what's wrong with you? You know?
Yeah.
So I've talked to some wives and who have said that that is something they had to learn in the marriage, though. You know, that so that's a good tool, because we know when we're going at them that we're in the midst of we're got a destroy mission.
Yeah.
Because we have a whole lot of words and they're not all nice. And then we wonder why he's gone all night or not here all day. And you don't talk to me. Well, you know. So anyway, but at the end, go ahead, Sonya.
Yeah, I do believe that women know the power of their words when it comes to building and tearing down men. That's why they use them. I do believe that they understand. The sad part for me is that women really don't know the power of their words when it comes to building up themselves and each other. And so that women have to realize that we do have power, period, not just our words. We have a lot of power. And we can say no and no happens. We can say yes and yes happens. We can control a lot of things, but we don't use it. We use it more to tear. And I'm not saying all women, but we use it more to tear down than to build up. And I think that we really, really knew the power of our words and the power that we have. I think women, we would have less women that are that have low self-esteem. We would have less women that are in these jacked up relationships. We would have less women, we would have more women that will have power and demonstrate power because they know we have power. And so that's kind of like a two-sided question. Yes, we do know the power of our words when it comes to tearing down and building up men. Yeah, we know. But when it comes to ourselves, I think that we kind of get amnesia as to the power and the power of our words.
Good. All right, so virtual land, I need you guys to tell me too, you know, it's a lot of people on this live. I need you guys to you know, either comment, and if you want to be anonymous, you can always email at me at thepurposepartytv@gmail.com. So send your comments and also your questions in, and we will talk about it. Okay, we're rounding it out to almost the end. So here's the last two questions. What do you think that men really need to understand about women?
That we need to be loved. The way they want to be respected, we need to be loved.
Good. Anybody else?
That we need time, like time spent with us. Like, I feel like for me, it's really important that a person is there to spend time with you so that you have the opportunity to get to know them. Because if you don't spend time with a person, you don't know what they're really about. You can see them in what the environments that they might show you, but what they really like, the way that they really behave, you see when they're with other people and you're spending time with them.
Anybody?
I think men need to understand that women do have your back till the end. We just need to know that you appreciate the compromises and the sacrifices that we make to have your back. Sometimes they don't even know some of the stuff we sweep under the rug just to make sure we're lifting you up. And they sometimes don't even understand some of the arguments we get in behind supporting you. And then, you know, all that is not appreciated. So I think that they need to understand we really do have your back. Well, we need to make sure that you got ours too.
Also, we need them to listen.
Yeah.
We need to be heard.
Yep, someone here says love, heard, and respected.
Well, I think that one thing that I would wish men would realize is that we are, and I'm not calling this an inanimate objects, but we are the most valuable, other than God, yes, the most valuable thing that you will ever have in your presence, yep, and in your corner. And the same passion that you have to do your secular things, the getting the house, getting the car, getting the money, that energy should be as well, you know, dedicated to us. And that we are the only thing that if you water right and you treat correctly, that the investment, the return on that investment can take you further than any property, any investment that you've ever in the stock market, anything you've ever done. And that's what I think.
Yeah.
Just know it. Yeah. Just know it. Okay, and the finale. My organist is off today. Okay. What do you ladies think? What do you think is the biggest misconception about Christian women? And I need everybody to answer. This is the finale question. We're definitely, you know, this kind of forum doesn't happen a lot. There's a lot of misconceptions about the whole singles life. But if this was the last word that you said about the whole single season and about being a single lady, what is the biggest misconception that you've heard about Christian single ladies?
I'll go, Bridgette.
Okay.
That we're unapproachable.
Yeah.
And that's a myth. We are not unapproachable. We are approachable.
Judgmental.
Yeah.
What is it? Let me go. Okay, so Jennifer?
Judgmental. That we're judgmental, and I'm personally, I'm not. It's just, you know, some things you have to, it's a process of elimination kind of thing, because you know the qualities that you're looking for in a person, but I'm not gonna sit there and judge you for it. I'm just gonna be like, that's not what I want.
Mhm.
Sonya?
We're not thirsty.
Yeah.
Church women are not thirsty. We just know what we deserve. And so we'll wait on it now. I don't know where that comes from. I mean, maybe they've had people chase them. I don't know anything about chasing nobody on that. And then, so they think we're thirsty, and some of them do think that we're unapproachable. Yeah. I've heard it before.
Okay, Tiffy?
I would say kind of what Sonya said, that we're desperate, you know, like we're trying to make everybody our husband. And then also that we're boring.
Yeah.
My.
Sandra?
That we expect a perfect man. We know that no one's perfect, so we don't expect perfection. We just want someone with a godly background and foundation that's going to be kind, loving, respectful, genuine, but we don't expect perfection.
Ooh. Biggest misconception that I have, we are not hoes. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Hey, man.
Now, let's put that out there because that's who I am and it's okay. Don't come to the church with all that, okay? Because you think it's easy pickings. You hear what I'm saying?
Right.
Not who we are.
Right.
I don't know who you met, and I don't care what happened. Do you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
That's not who we are. So that misconception needs to be squashed.
Amen.
Awesome.
Amen.
So anyway, that is the show, but listen, I want to thank you guys for participating in this show. This, like I said, is something that should be a regular, and it will be. If it's up to me, it'll be a regular situation that we're having these kind of conversations. I hope everybody out there in virtual land enjoyed it. For those of you who are watching and have been watching and have been quiet, I know it's caused you to think about some things. If you're in your single season, I'm sure something we said triggered some things in your head. These girlfriends of mine, we're not going anywhere. We will be here. We want you to commit yourself to continuing to watch this show, The Purpose Party, period, you know, but because we have some other great shows happening. But when it comes to this forum, we're going to be doing this again. And I want you guys to email me at thepurposepartytv@gmail.com and just put it in. Just say, hey, I'm interested in participating in something in the future. Doesn't mean I'm going to be blowing up your emails or anything. It just means that when we have something that may not necessarily be live like this on Facebook, because there's some stuff, like I said, that we can talk about that doesn't necessarily need to be broadcast to the masses. But we will be having some chit chats and stuff. And sometimes, you know what? Being connected being on the same plane in the same season, we need to communicate. We need to just talk. Like I said, this pandemic is keeping us apart anyway, so we might as well just create our own forums. And so we're going to do that. And so, like I said, you can just email me at The Purpose Party TV, thepurposepartytv@gmail.com, and just give me your name and your email. It would be great. Leave some questions. That'll be awesome too. We are going to be talking to the guys on tomorrow, the 15th of August, tomorrow. Saturday at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So I want you guys to look, get some more popcorn, because we're going to be talking to guys, and you know that's rare that they're going to give me their time and answer all of these wonderful questions that we are going to propose to them. And the same way that these ladies right here have been real, the guys are going to be realer, okay? And we're going to get some answers, and we're going to ask them the questions, and they've said that they're going to be extremely honest about it. And like I said, these are good, wonderful, professional, good-looking, strapping young men who will be on this show. And they will be the fine counterparts to these beautiful, fabulous women that you see before you. Anyway, I love you guys. Keep connected with me. We got some other shows that are coming. Please reserve Sunday as well, the 16th, August 16th at 3 o'clock. You guys will be out of church. You'll be off your church Zoom by then. Right. You know, and just pull up a chair, because we're going to all come together. And at that time, we're going to be having some questions that are for everybody too. So you can kind of shoot your questions. We're going to be looking at our phone at that time. We're going to have wonderful Pastor Donald Bell there to clear up some things. He's been married a long time to one wife. So he is quite qualified to talk to me about anything when it comes to marriage and relationships. And the same thing with you. But this is the Purpose Party. And as I do at the end of all of my broadcasts, I have to ask you a question. Ladies, are we ready? Purpose. Yes. Purpose. If not now, when? You guys are great. Talk to you soon.
Take care. Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.